Welcome to Driverless. Driverless is a series where we explore other times and alternate realities. We've been experimenting with a bunch of digital imagery tools and generative AI tools, and we realized that when you start to plug these things into each other, they let you spin up descriptions and imagery of places and characters really quickly. Combining these all together gives you this feeling like you can travel anywhere or anytime you can imagine, right in the moment you imagine it. New tools and ways of combining tools are appearing all the time, so Driverless is a laboratory where we take these developments in AI and digital imagery and dive into whichever universe they take us. And this technology is truly strange, and there's a lot to say and think about it while not being able to really see clearly where it's going. So we screen record these dives and we edit them into something that feels like a real-time journey. And we imagine they will feel fairly different each time depending on the tools we use. And this is the first one. So we're excited to see where this goes. We'd love you to join us and we'd love to hear your reactions. Let's dive in. Hypothetically, both of us are screenshotting things. Both of us are screen recording.
Do you want to do like a dive? Should we start it?
Yeah, dude, let's do it. If someone described like the texture of something and we're like, show us the texture of an orange, it could like do that. Is that where we should start?
Let's do it.
Imagine super close up orange. Oh, they don't like the word skin. Peel.
Orange peel. Yeah.
Oh, dude, 78%, dude. What's this gonna look like? Now it's done.
Wow.
Ooh, this one's like honey. Have you used Midjourney much?
I have not.
What?
Not at all. Am I able to do it?
Yeah. Well, no.
Don't you have to like give me access or something?
You'd have to be logged in as me or have your own account.
Do you want to start with the orange peel?
Yeah, let's do the orange peel.
You want me to start the dive?
Yeah, how about you dive?
All right, Jared, here we go.
You're a 45-year-old human man living in 1950s. You walk outside your door one morning and look at your hands. Your skin has turned into an orange peel. Look around you. Describe what you see. So let's do a Midjourney prompt. So imagine what? Human man, orange peel body.
I think I want to rework my initial prompt a little bit. Okay, I think that this will give a better output. I'm just trying to like prime the AI to write in an output that's gonna be what we're looking for.
Do you want to see what the computer made? Human man, orange peel body.
To me, it's the one on the top left, man. Look how realistic the oranges are on his head.
Dude, this one's totally nasty.
With this story that I'm imagining is something very like tangible in like olden time. Can you put rural England or something like that?
Rural England.
Or rural France, if you can do that actually.
1914 rural France, human man, orange peel body.
I think we can get a story out of this.
Okay.
Yes, that prompt, this is what it generated. I am a storyteller and you are my storytelling aid. You're going to imagine yourself as the character in this story and tell a story from the first person. Let's begin. I am a 45-year-old man living in France in 1914. It was a beautiful morning and I decided to take a walk outside. I opened the door, stepped out, and looked at my hands. To my shock, my skin had turned into an orange peel. I couldn't believe my eyes. I rubbed my hands together, but the texture remained the same. I wondered what could have caused this strange phenomenon. Was it something I ate? Was it some sort of skin condition? I had no idea. As I looked around, I saw my neighbors going about their business, completely oblivious to my predicament. They were tending to their gardens, walking their dogs, and chatting with each other. It was as if nothing unusual was happening, but for me everything had changed. I felt different, isolated, and alone. I was afraid that people would look at me differently or worse, avoid me altogether. I decided to go back inside and try to figure out what was going on. This poor man. I spent the next few days holed up in my house. I consulted with doctors, read medical books, but nothing seemed to work. My orange peel skin was there to stay, and I had to learn to live with it. I had to face the world and show them that I was still the same person, even if I looked different. Wow. It gives it backstory. So we can start here and then dive into the first person perspective of this person.
Let's imagine for a moment, if we will, this man who experienced this is one of tens of thousands of people who experience this sort of thing around the globe every year.
Like an alternate universe almost. I think that might help this write it better. Instead of trying to be based in reality, it knows that we're writing a story.
What caused this to happen to him, and how is it happening to so many people?
We got something good coming right here.
Imagine the alternate universe where this man is one of tens of thousands of people experiencing orange peel skin per year. I have a question about the world in this story. Andrew, you're so good at this. What is causing this to happen in this alternate timeline starting in 1914 in our story? Do not acknowledge that this is an alternate reality. Just assume that in this reality, time split in 1914 and people started getting orange peel skin.
Here's your answer, Jared.
In this alternate reality, starting in 1914, a new chemical compound was discovered that had been widely used in food, medicine, and cosmetics. It was believed to have several beneficial properties, such as extending the shelf life of food, enhancing the effectiveness of medicine. However, as time went on, it became apparent that this chemical compound was causing a strange phenomenon in people. Their skin was turning into orange peel, and the symptoms ranged from mild to severe. As more and more people were affected, it became clear that the chemical compound was the culprit. Unfortunately, due to the lack of regulations and safety testing, the compound had been widely distributed and consumed by people all over the world. The government implemented strict regulations and safety testing to prevent similar incidents from happening in the future. Scientists worked to find a cure for the orange peel skin phenomenon, but it was a slow and difficult process.
I have a big question
Okay.
to follow up. Assistant storyteller, AI, imagine you are the character from before. So I think I want to find out where he lives, and then we can move him around in his space. This is the response that we got right here.
So you are a 32-year-old man named Pierre living in Paris, France. Before your skin turned into orange peel, you're a successful businessman in the textile industry. However, since your transformation, you've been forced to quit your job due to your appearance and the onset of other related health issues. Now live in a small apartment in the outskirts of the city and spend most of your days trying to find a cure for your condition. Orange Peel Man does science. Look at this guy.
The next thing is the prompt that I just followed up with, and I haven't read any of this yet. When I heard about the conditions of war erupting over Europe, I couldn't help but feel a sense of despair. Not only was I dealing with this strange and debilitating condition, but now the world was on the brink of chaos and destruction. As the war raged on around me, I felt a sense of determination and purpose growing within me, determined to find a cure, to overcome this obstacle, and to emerge from this crisis stronger and more resilient than ever before.
Could we put this character on a trajectory where he successfully ends World War I in a long-lasting Europe peace that actually leads to the events of World War II not happening?
Oh.
Maybe we don't commit to it, but we start inching that direction and see what happens. Should we call him Orange Peel Man?
Dude, no, his name's actually Pierre, just so you know.
Pierre. Before you do this whole prompt, do we want to have another story milestone or two before that kind of leads up to this? Or things we explore before this happens?
Like to get more context?
Yeah, could we create a villain who is very aware of what's going on with the orange peel?
Yeah, that's a fun idea. So we want to just ask about the enemy?
Yes.
So I really like this look around. You describe what you see just to get started with a new person, because it just kind of sets them in space somehow. Do you want to read this?
Yes.
Or do you want me to?
I am Henri, a capitalist who has always looked out for my own interests. When I first heard about the orange peel skin phenomenon, I saw it as an opportunity to make a profit. I quickly began investing in companies that manufactured creams and lotions designed to treat the condition. As the phenomenon spread and more people were affected, my profits soared. I felt no remorse for profiting off of the suffering of others. After all, it was their own fault for not taking better care of their skin. As I look around me now, I see the world in turmoil. The war has brought chaos and uncertainty to the markets, and my once lucrative investments are now in danger of collapsing. But I'm not worried. I will always find a way to come out on top, no matter what obstacles I may face. Sinister.
Wow, he's evil.
Let's just say he plans to keep his business intact. Is this Henri? Is Henri an orange man?
No, he's not.
Ooh, but what if this is Henri dressed like an orange?
Okay. Henri is dressed up like an orange.
Can this cause an uproar?
To a parade to mock
Yes.
people. Violence erupts. From the perspective of Henri, describe what is happening right now. Read the output here, man.
As I walked down the street in my orange peel skin suit, I couldn't help but feel a sense of power and superiority. Everywhere I looked, I saw people staring at me in disgust and fear. It was like I was the celebrity, the center of attention, and I loved it. But then something changed. A group of people with actual orange peel skin men appeared in the crowd, shouting and protesting my presence. At first I tried to ignore them, but their voices grew louder and louder until they were drowning out the sound of the parade. Suddenly someone in the crowd threw a rock at me. It hit me in the head, and I stumbled and fell to the ground. The next thing I knew, I was being kicked and punched by a group of angry people with orange
Oh my
peels.
god.
I tried to fight back, but there were too many of them. They overpowered me, dragging me through the streets and beating me mercilessly. I was bleeding and bruised, my orange peel skinned suit torn to shreds. As I lay there battered and broken, I couldn't help but wonder how things had gone so wrong. All I had wanted was to have a little fun, to enjoy the spectacle of these people in their strange condition. But now I was paying the price for my arrogance and ignorance, and I wasn't sure if I would ever recover. All right, dude. Sounds like justice was served to Henri.
For real.
I think we can let Henri's cautionary tale end there.
Should we bring the stories together and start to move toward how this somehow affects World War One?
Yes.
All right, do you want to read this new output?
Okay, so Henri and Pierre cross paths. Write this story of their interaction, include dialogue between the two. They need to briefly recognize one another before the story moves on. As violence erupted, Henri and Pierre found themselves caught in the middle. Henri had been beaten and bloodied by the angry mob, while Pierre had been trying to help some of the injured. "Are you all right?" Pierre asked, his voice strained with concern. Henri glared at him, his eyes filled with hatred. "Don't you dare speak to me. You and your kind are the reason for all of this. You brought this upon yourselves." Pierre shook his head, his eyes filled with sadness. "We didn't choose this, Henri." He knows his name. Well, I guess they probably all know who this guy is, because he's known for perpetuating their experience. Henri sneered at him. "Make the best of it. How can you say that? Look at me, Pierre. Look at what they've done to me. I'm ruined. Oh my, is he gonna die?" Pierre reached out a hand to help him up, but Henri pushed him away. "I don't need your help," he growled. "I'll find my own way out of this mess." With that, he turned and stumbled away, disappearing into the crowd. Pierre watched him go, his heart heavy with sorrow and regret. He knew that he couldn't change what had happened, but he vowed to do everything in his power to make things right, to heal the wounds that had been inflicted on both sides. Could we have Henri actually die?
Yeah, we can kill him.
I realized, look what I got earlier.
Whoa, dude.
Brought to you tonight by Tic Tac.
By Tic Tac.
The newspaper has an advertisement for a cosmetic product for the orange peel-skinned people. Wait, Henri dies from his injuries. Pierre reads about it in the newspaper. The newspaper has an advertisement. As Pierre read about Henri's death in the newspaper, he couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness and regret. Despite their differences, he knew that Henri was still a human being, and the violence and hatred that had led to his death were a tragedy. As he turned the page, he saw an advertisement for new cosmetic product designs, specifically for people with orange peel skin, that had promised to smooth and soften the skin, reducing the appearance of bumps and dimples. Pierre couldn't help but be intrigued. He had tried countless remedies and treatments over the years, but nothing had ever worked. Pierre knew that he had to try it. He cut the ad out and tucked it into his wallet, determined to find the product and give it a chance.
Maybe the cure is not a cure, but just like a moisturizer that like makes him have like the best orange peel skin, and like it's like the best thing because he smells like zesty all the time. Well, I just wrote a movie, so awesome. You should read it. I want to be surprised.
Okay. The cosmetic cream is not a cure, but a moisturizer. It gives Pierre the best shine and fragrance to his peel. He feels so good, he starts taking a series of actions that lead to a resolution of World War I and lead to the avoidance of World War II. Write the story of actions in a 4-scene plot. It should read like a screenplay, include dialogue, characters, character development, descriptions, surroundings, and film direction. Okay, cool, dude. And we're gonna read Exterior Pierre's Day. Pierre walks down the street, his orange peel skin glistening in the sun. He feels good. Look at this guy. Better than he has in years. He's been using the new cosmetic cream for a week now, and it's made a world of difference. He notices a group of soldiers marching down the street. They are singing a patriotic song. Their voices ring out across the city. Pierre stops to listen, feeling a sense of pride and hope swelling within him. Soldier 1 to Pierre. "You look like one of us, brother. What's your name?" Pierre, smiling. Pierre Dubois.
Ooh, he has a last name.
"Well, Pierre, why don't you come join us? We could use a man with your spirit." Pierre hesitates for a moment, then nods. Pierre just straight up is like, "Yeah, I'm in."
Oh
Cut to Exterior Trenches Day.
Whoa.
Pierre and the soldiers are huddled in the muddy trenches, their rifles at the ready. They can hear the enemy approaching, their footsteps crunching the mud. Soldier 1 whispering, "Steady, boys, they're almost here." Pierre feels a surge of fear and adrenaline coursing through his veins. He's never been in a battle before, but he's ready to fight for his country, for his newfound sense of purpose. As the enemy approaches Pierre and the soldiers open fire, the sound of gunfire echoes through the trenches, the smell of gunpowder filling the air. Pierre's a natural leader and quickly earns the respect of the other soldiers. He devises a strategy that leads to a decisive victory, earning him a promotion to a higher rank. Cut to exterior Pierre's day. Pierre is marching in a victory parade, his orange peel skin shining in the sun. The people of Paris are cheering him and the other soldiers, their voices ringing out. It's just in World War I.
Dude, this last prompt I did is kind of crazy.
Retell the story where a series of random events leads to the avoidance of World War II. Pierre starts a chain of events, seemingly small things, and there is some kind of butterfly effect or Rube Goldberg machine type sequence that randomly ends the war. They get tied to the real history of the war, including key leaders of the war, where they were on a specific day and how Pierre's seemingly small action caused a course of history shift. Andrew, this incredible prompt. Pierre's seemingly small action set off a chain of events that would ultimately lead to the avoidance of World War II. I'll start with a chance encounter on the streets of Paris. Pierre was walking down the street when he bumped into a young man carrying a stack of papers. The papers went flying and Pierre helped the man gather them up. As they were picking up the papers, Pierre noticed that one of them was a map of Poland. "Are you a journalist?" Pierre asked. The young man nodded. "Yes, I'm a reporter for the Warsaw Gazette." Pierre felt a sense of curiosity growing within him. He had always been interested in international affairs, and he knew that Poland was a country on the brink of war. "Can you tell me more about what's happening in Poland?" Pierre asked. The reporter hesitated for a moment, then nodded. He told Pierre about the growing tensions between Poland and Germany, the rumors of impending invasion, and the fear that war was inevitable. Pierre listened intently, his mind racing, and knew that he had to do something to prevent this war from happening. Over the next few weeks, Pierre used his connections to gather information about the situation in Poland. He talked to diplomats, politicians, and military leaders, trying to find a way to prevent the conflict from escalating. One day, he received a message from a contact in Berlin. The message contained a secret proposal from the German government. They would agree to withdraw their troops from Poland if the Polish government agreed to cede a small strip of land along the border.
Wow, so it made up like the map of Poland as the key to it all.
It's like if Poland gives up this small piece of land, the war will end.
It's like it invented the key and the lock. Okay.
Pierre contacted the Polish government and arranged a secret meeting with the German representatives. The meeting was tense, but Pierre's negotiation skills proved invaluable. He convinced both sides to agree to the proposals, and the crisis was averted. The world breathed a sigh of relief as news of the agreement spread. The leaders of Germany and Poland were hailed as heroes, and Pierre became a minor celebrity for his role in preventing the conflict. Okay, but the true impact of Pierre's actions were never felt until years later when the world was once again on the brink of war. The agreement he'd brokered had set a precedent for peaceful resolution of conflicts and given leaders hope that war could be avoided through negotiation and diplomacy. As leaders of Europe gathered in Munich in 1938 to discuss the fate of Czechoslovakia, they remembered the lessons of the past. They knew that war was not inevitable, that there was always a way to find peace, and so they made a bold decision. They agreed to cede a small strip of land along with the border with Germany, hoping that it would be enough to satisfy Hitler's demands and prevent war. The plan worked, and the war was avoided. The world had learned the lessons of the past and had avoided the horrors of another devastating conflict. Pierre may have been just a small player in the grand scheme of things, but his actions set up a chain of events that would change the course of history. Man, crazy.
Whoa.
So Hitler's like still ruling Germany? No! Well,
all right, man.
I think this is a good place to call it. A question I have, how should I edit this?